Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on in the room, come on in the room. Good morning. I'm excited to meet each and every one of you. It is Thanksgiving season here in the United States. I am so thankful for the opportunity to connect with you here on a weekly basis. Thank you so much for meeting me here. Let's jump right in because I have a lot to say today. I have a lot to say, but here's the thing there's a question on the streets. There's a question out there today that I've been hearing, and so I decided to answer. The question is why smart professionals stay stuck? Yeah, I'm so glad that somebody's asking that question, and I'm happy to answer for you today. The short answer is mindset. Yep, that's the short answer. And you'll learn a little bit more about them. And I'm going to tell you some of the blocks that's causing mindset to get in the way. So I want to welcome you to today's session. And I want to let you know that smart professionals don't stay stuck because of skills. They stay stuck because of hidden mindset blocks. And we're going to talk about four of them today. These are things that they never learn to recognize. But before we jump in, just a little bit about me. I am your coach. My name is Shelia Malcolm. I am your island boss lady. Your super excited executive life coach. This thing here that I do it because I love it. I love to change lives. I love to give back, and I love to make an impact for you. But I want you to know I'm also the CEO of Look Within Life Coaching. And in the CEO role, it is the CEO stands for Compassionate Empowerment Officer. I am also an ICF certified coach. I am a best selling author of the book, Free Me From Me Chains Were Meant to Be Broken. And if you have some chains, yeah, I can help you with that. I'm also a keynote speaker. I'm also a recipient of awards from the Toastmaster Arena. I spent 25 years in corporate, and I spent it working with the top advisors in the firm. And those experiences that I bring to the table inform my coaching, my real life examples that I've things that I've been through, things that I've gotten over, things that I grow through, things that I overcame, and also the classroom learning. In 2019, my business was recognized by Jacksonville Business Journal for outstanding accomplishment as a small business. And this is why I can come before you, because I'm doing the work. This is why I can come before you, because I've lived some of those mindset blocks and pushed through it. This is why I do what I do now, to help you and as many people you want to send my way to get breakthroughs. How many of you know your mindset? It matters. It matters. Some of you may be looking for some kind of proof, some kind of data to show that it does matter. And I want you to know that it does. Because the data show that 80% of your success, my success, has nothing to do with our talent or our resources. It has to do with how we think. It has to do with how we think. And it is so important that we think correctly, because mindset is a lens through which we see challenges. This is how we see opportunities and how we see ourselves. And if you don't see yourself correctly, it will affect how you show up. And some of those things we're going to talk about soon. The right mindset helps you to determine whether or not you quit, whether you push through, or whether you thrive. Whether you say, no matter what, I'm going to keep on going, I'm going to keep moving forward. My coach shared with me many years ago, and I'll never forget. He said, Chilia, not just me, but others in the classroom, in the training, you need to have thinking in your calendar. You may call it something else. You may call it reflection time. You may call it journaling, whatever that is, but you're sitting with your thoughts and you're getting present to what you're thinking, what's going on for you. We must think about what we're thinking about. Because if you believe your mindset matters, you will take intentional steps around making sure you have the right mindset, making sure you're unblocking those things that are getting in the way of your success. And as we look at why smart professionals stay stuck, there are four, can't find my fingers, there are four hidden mindset blocks. There are many others, but these four for me are the key ones. Number one, you playing small. I remember, how many of you know that as a coach, you also need a coach? I remember a few weeks ago in my last game, because I have a 90-day game that I play to really achieve my goals. And I was reporting back to my coach and sharing with her how I was doing and what wasn't happening. And she's like, Sylvia, you're playing too small. And she stopped me in my stinking thinking. She interrupted my flow for me to get present to me staying safe. Are you staying safe? There are big things that you can do. There are big things out there waiting in it to be done, but you're playing small. You underestimate your abilities and you shrink from opportunities. You don't apply for that position. You know you're qualified for that position, but you keep making excuses. You keep telling yourself, I don't think I can do it. I'm not qualified. I'm not ready yet. You stop yourself before you even, before anybody else stop you. You stop yourself. It is so important that you get out of your head and get out of your way. Another big one, another big block is creating imposter feelings. I have clients around the world. I have clients in Japan, Indonesia, Costa Rica, India, Canada, Finland, Scotland, the UK, just to name a few places. And the one common thread that I find, even though these are people from around the world, we all struggle with the same thing. They all have some of these issues, playing small and listening to the voice of the imposter syndrome, where they're doubting their skills and doubting that they even qualify for the position. They're discounting their accomplishments. How many times have you discounted your qualifications, your accomplishments? And one of the things that I do, I help them to get present to the things they overcame, where they've saved the company money. Right now, it's year-end review in companies. You're writing your performance review because you're hoping that you get a promotion. You're hoping that you get a raise. You're hoping that you did well enough to make a difference so that they can see the value that you have added to the company and increase your salary for that or give you promotion. But how many of you are also sitting here after hearing and listening to me, realizing that you shortchange yourself? You didn't step into your power of your accomplishment, the things that you know how to do. You're still waiting for somebody to discover that you're not enough. I need you, sir and ma'am, to get out of your head. Your accomplishment shows it. And if you struggle, that's where I come in as your coach, because how many of you know when you are in the frame, you cannot see the picture. So you need trusted people in your life like myself. A trusted person that's going to come alongside of you and say, hey, ma'am, hey, sir, this is what I see. These are the things that I see in you. These are the things that I see that you're doing well. And you are getting out of your own way. And the next thing, the next mindset block is fear of visibility. Yeah, fear of visibility. You avoid speaking up in meetings. As I say this, I remember I used to be so shy when I was younger. I used to be so shy in my earlier years. Why? Because I was stuck in my feelings and saying I have an accent, because people made fun of me in high school, the way I talk, how I pronounce words. I'm a girl from Jamaica. I have an accent. I pronounce things differently than folks in America. And I got very self-conscious. And I would be in team meetings and I wouldn't ask questions. I'll be like a flower on a wall, just in the background, staying out there, just hanging out in the background. And one day I decided, you know what? I'm going to speak up. Even if I'm silly and make silly points, even if the question is not the most impactful question, I'm going to ask anyway. And I raised my hand and started sharing my point of view. I raised my hand and started sharing my ideas, getting out of the background. And it made a difference because one day my director, she was doing a skip level meeting. And I asked a question. I said, I know this question might have been answered already, but I said it another way, said it a different way. And she said, Sheila, thank you for asking the question. Because I'm sitting here and all the points that I've made, I was hoping that somebody would pick up on that. And I'm glad that you asked. And she also noticed that she gave me kudos. She said, I noticed that each and every meeting you're coming into lately, you're asking questions, you're raising your hand, you're making a point. You're not just staying on the call. You're making sure that we see and hear you. And that is so important that we do that. We step into leadership. Another story came to mind. I remember when I used to work for corporate and I was living in New Jersey at the time. And we were having a team meeting and my manager said, our director's thinking, the company's thinking of taking our group to another level. They want to have a sister site in Jacksonville, Florida, or out in Arizona, but they're thinking of doing this in 13 to 15 months. Would anybody be interested? And I raised my hand halfway, y'all, halfway, halfway. Would you believe in 3 weeks, my boss came to me and said, the director's asking for you. They need to talk to you about you saying yes to your interests in participating in leading one of the teams in one of these locations. So I went to my director's office and he got me present to the change. He said, Sheila, I know it was 13 to 15 months, but things change. We need to get the high net worth desk started, the private wealth high net worth desk started, where we service our clients 10 million or more. We want to get that started and we're going to do it down in Jacksonville. And I'm like, okay, this is the end of August. I'm like, what time frame are you thinking of? What happened to the timeline of 13 to 15 months? He said, things change and we need you down there by October. I'm like, October? Then I started in my head saying, oh my God, why did I raise my hand? Why did I say that? But I stopped myself. I said, okay, tell me more. And he told me more. And I walked away from that scared and nervous because I knew I was going as one and they were relying on me. So after work, I talked it over with my sister, and she and her husband decided to take a road trip with me to go to Florida, scope things out and look around. And I left Florida realizing that, yeah, I can do this. Got everything set up, the apartment set up, the light turned on and everything like that. Everything all set up. And I went back to Jersey, packed up my car, ready to come down to Florida. And this was during the time of Hurricane Sandy. This was in October of 2012. And my personal life was turning upside down. And that Hurricane Sandy, that was how I was feeling. And I had everything set up for someone to drive my things and drive me down. And at last minute, something came up and they couldn't go. I reached out to my dear friend. She's a pharmacist. And she said, sure, I'll go with you and fly back to New Jersey. I'll go with you to Florida and fly back. And as we were talking things through, the morning of, she called me and said, Sheila, sorry, I can't go. All my texts called out. I can't go with you. So now I was left to go by myself. And I was all in my head, y'all. I was like, oh my God, why did I say yes? I started thinking of all the negative chatter. And I had to calm myself down. And I drove myself to Florida. On the heels of Hurricane Sandy, I am there driving, trying to get to Florida while Hurricane Sandy is coming up the coast. And I made it, because I'm talking to you now. I made it safely. And while in Florida after the hurricane, I wasn't even in Florida for 2 months. Someone came through my window because I love the sunshine. I love fresh air. I opened my window that was facing the body of water. There's a nice little lake over there and the sun coming in. I love that. And I forgot to lock my window. So the night I was sleeping was about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I heard this knock. I heard this knock. And when I looked, well, I didn't look. I listened and I said, if I hear the knock again, I'm going to run. I heard the knock, but it would sound like the window was opening. And I grabbed my cell phone and ran. I was living in a townhouse and I ran downstairs. And then I said, no, no, no. I turned back and I ran in the second bedroom I had, locked myself in the bathroom and called 911. I was nervous. And after it was all over, I called my boss in New Jersey and I said, I don't want to stay here anymore. I want to come back to New Jersey. I'm done. This leadership thing is scary. All things that could go wrong, all hell is breaking loose. But how many of you know quitters never win and winners never quit? I had to get myself together. My boss talked me off the ledge, y'all, because I was all in my feelings. It was all in my head. I took on the stretch assignment and everything that could go wrong was going wrong. I wanted to give up. I wanted to give in. But look at me now. I'm here sharing these stories with you to let you know there are things blocking you and I can help you because I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. My coaching that I do is informed by the things I overcame in my personal life, the things I learned in corporate for 25 years, and the classroom training that I've had. And with that, I want you to know that I can be the person to help you see outside of the periphery. I can help you to see, to help you to get visibility so you can ask for the money and so you can ask for what you need. The fourth and final block that I want to focus on today is you accept less than you deserve. So many of you. Because like I share with you, I coach clients around the world, and that's a common denominator. You stay in roles that you have outgrown. You're now the subject matter expert, but you should be taking that knowledge to the next level. But you're letting fear steal from you. You're not asking for your advancement. And some of you don't know how to negotiate your next level income, your next level price, what you need to get paid. You accept low payment and you stay in these roles that are not serving you. And as I'm sharing this, I remember this young lady, we had our coaching session. I think it ended maybe a month ago. And she was third to the VP, third from the CEO. And she was sharing with me all the things that she was doing for the company. I'm like, oh my goodness, when do you sleep? When do you sleep? And she was crafting a pitch for her to ask for more money. And those are things that I helped her with. We talked through all the added value, where she saved the company money, all the different things that she was handling, all the different meetings, all the different things that was on her plate, being in different roles that she played. She had a different event outside of her day-to-day that she had to manage. And we worked through all of that. We had talked about looking at the glass door and comparing what are people making at her level. And we create a nice pitch together. These are things that I can help you with. Because why smart people stay stuck is because they don't have the right coach, somebody to help them. Why smart people, professionals, stay stuck? Because they have these 4 hidden blocks and they're not sure how to get out of. You're playing small. You're letting your imposter feelings getting in your way, and you're hiding from visibility, and you're settling for breadcrumbs. And I want to help you get out of that. So this is how I can help you. I want you to think about yourself and also other people that I can help. I want you to elevate your thinking because your mindset matters. And I want you to get out of the fixed mindset that says that nothing can change and enter into the growth mindset that says, yep, I can change it. I can switch my thinking and I can partner with coach in a one-to-one session. We can do an 8-week or a 12-week program. I could also do group coaching for a group of your friends, group of your leaders in your company, or group of your colleagues that you know you want to change how things is for 2026. You no longer want to accept where you are. You have bigger dreams. You have your eye on a much higher role. You want to level up. I could also be a keynote speaker at your event, at your work, at your retreats, in school, or at any place where you do life in the community. because you recognize that you no longer want to play small. You want to raise the bar, and you want to make sure that you're setting up yourself for success in 2026. I also want to take this time to invite you to an upcoming event that I'm having, a virtual event on how successful people overcome. And I want to underline overcome limiting beliefs, because these limiting beliefs are standing in your way. So take a moment and hover your camera over the QR code and book your session and share it with 5 of your friends. This is where you will learn to understand how successful people think differently, how they break free from these mental blocks that we just talked about, and we may look at more. Here is a handful of testimonials from my trusted clients. And you can also see more on my Google review when you go to Look Within Life Coaching LLC. There are people talking about the breakthroughs that they're getting with working with me. I would love to get your review, but first I have to work with you. So make sure that you put some time on my calendar. Another ask that I will have is that I want to grow my presence on social media. So I want you to hover over these 2 QR codes for Instagram and YouTube and help me share the word. Join me, subscribe, and keep sharing. As I mentioned in my first slide, that I am an author, and you can get my book if you're in person in the Atlanta area at the Madu bookstore. You can also get it online. You can get an audio version or the paperback on Amazon. Hover your phone and click on that link and purchase. I would love for you to support me and give me a review as well on Amazon once you do that. So here's my contact information. I don't want you to work in silo. I want you to know that there's help available, and I want you to have the best 2026 ever. If you realize that you're writing your reviews right now and you missed a whole lot because you were hanging out in those 4 areas where you were blocked, your mindset was blocked, and you want to change things for 2026, go ahead to my website and book a 15-minute free coaching session. That's lookwithinlifecoach.com. Go ahead and book it. I would love to meet you to see if we're a good fit. And I'm so glad you took time out of your busy schedule to hang out with me today. Thank you so much for choosing you. And I want you to know that there's more in you than you think, and I want to help you bring it out. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.